Hello, everybody. My name is Alex Asher. I lead the consulting vertical at Affinity. You came to the right place. So for today, we'll give you an overview of Affinity as it relates to the consulting industry. We'll give you a demo of the platform as well and dive into some consulting use cases. But for now, Affinity is a relationship intelligence platform. So we're purpose-built for management consulting firms to really tap into and maximize the value of their collective network of relationships. So we are the #1 CRM of choice for professional services because of our data automation, our data enrichment, and we're super, super easy to use. So when you think about legacy CRM systems today, like Salesforce or HubSpot Dynamics, they're good at what they do, but they're very much designed for transactional businesses and not so much relationship-driven firms like consulting. I'd say secondly, they're heavy, they're hard to use, requires a ton of manual data entry. As a result, teams suffer from adoption problems. So we're helping firms to fully cultivate and harness their network to drive business outcomes. To date, we work with more than 2,000 firms globally, ranging from small boutiques to mid-sized firms, even large enterprise. We actually have a 99 out of 100 customer satisfaction score. So our customers, they love the product, they love using the product. And what gives us a competitive advantage in the marketplace is our proprietary technology. So day one, you sign into Affinity using your same exact email credentials, and we're automatically creating profiles for every single person and every single organization that you and your team has ever interacted with, right? So day one, we're giving you this very precise relationship graph, and then we're able to layer in relationship intelligence to tell you who you know externally, how you know them, and how well you know them. We're then enriching that data using third-party data sources that are both private and public to give you a 360-degree view on that person or that company. And then we also integrate with your most commonly used enterprise applications, whether that be Slack. We have a LinkedIn extension, Chrome extension, Gmail, Outlook plugin, etc. But really the value to consulting firms is the following, right? To accelerate business development, grow clients, identify new projects by tapping into your team's real-time collective network. We surface that relationship intelligence that allows you to really take action, identify some of those low-hanging fruit opportunities that are sitting in your network. Eliminating manual data entry is a huge value for our customers. This in itself justifies ROI for most of our clients. We save our clients on average 188 hours per user per year that's otherwise spent entering data manually. And interesting about Affinity is our data is much more accurate, because we are pulling in data real time from your email, from your calendar, and then we're enriching it using those third-party data sources. Then I'd say lastly, it's super easy to use. It's easier to use in spreadsheets. You could think of it as contact management, lead gen, CRM. Some clients use it for project management, reporting, all in one solution. So with that overview, I'll dive into the product to give you a firsthand look into what Affinity is all about. So day one, you sign into Affinity. This is what you see. So you'll receive an email invitation. You'll join and sign in using your same exact email credentials, and the platform will automatically create profiles for every single person in every single organization that you and your team knows, right? So day one, we're already creating this hugely valuable asset for your firm and giving you essentially a digital Rolodex of every single person and company that you and your organization has ever interacted with. Down below will be custom lists, and these are built to manage a workflow to drive a business outcome, right? So whether that be active sales opportunities, that could be active engagements or projects you're managing, relationships that you're wanting to prospect, even strategic accounts. You could think of even mailing lists, etc. So I'll click into all people here to show you what that's all about. So this here would be a list of every single person that you and your team knows. Affinity is able to identify the first name, last name, and the email just based on your history of email and calendar communication. And we're automatically populating all of this data. So the power of Affinity here is you've barely lifted a finger, and we've created all these profiles for you. So we're able to tell you who from your team is best connected with this individual, who is the original source of introduction, first email, first meeting, last email, last meeting, last contact, next meeting. So all of these are automatically pulled from email and calendar. These are what we call smart columns. On the right-hand side are enrich columns. So you'll see most recent job title, organization, industry, location, LinkedIn URL, phone number. These are what we call enrich columns, and we're automatically enriching these using our third-party data sources. Let's say you want to create a new column because you take a very personalized approach with your relationships, and you want to create a column for home address because you like sending gifts in the mail. And to update it, it's that easy to create a new column. But you typically come here to answer some sort of network-driven question, right? Because 100,000 people, that's going to be difficult to manage alone. So let's say you're making a trip to Palo Alto, California, and you want to see, hey, who do we know in Palo Alto? And maybe we'll want to filter by industry, call it the software industry. So we're able to slice and dice that list from 100,000 down to 39 people. You see at the Parker Wise, this would be somebody you would love to meet with. You personally don't know Parker Wise, but it looks like a few people on your team actually do. You could click here, and what we're able to do is surface this relationship intelligence. So no other company can do this. This is our patented AI technology. And you could see that Juliet from your team has a 90 out of 100 relationship score. So that's incredibly powerful. We're able to display the relationship score based on the recency and frequency of email and calendar communication. So in this case, you may ask Juliet for an introduction. Say you're going to be working this list over the next 3 weeks. You don't want to keep coming back to all people to apply the filters. You could easily duplicate this view and call it Palo Alto, software contacts. Similarly, if you want to reach out to these people, let's say you want to set up meetings with everybody and see who responds. We have a bulk email feature and say, meeting in Palo Alto, and you could customize it however you want. First name, write your email, preview it, and once it's good, you could send it off. Let's click into Parker's profile to show you what people profiles look like. So this would be a person profile on Affinity. Here we're displaying your table stakes CRM data. You could see any lists this person is a part of, even an activity timeline. So let's say I want to look at the history of communication over the last 3 years. We'll display this graph. You could actually click there. It will take you down to that exact communication where you could see a few meetings have been taking place. You could read the subject line, the email body, pull that up. On the right-hand side, we're displaying more relationship highlights, right? You could see the last person to contact, who's got the strongest relationship, any notes, even reminders. So in this case, I have a one-time reminder for my colleague Billy to follow up on the NDA. I even have a recurring 30-day reminder because I know Parker is good for a deal every month. And even file attachments, because I can imagine, especially with one account or one organization, you may share dozens, if not hundreds of file attachments. And I can't tell you how many times my last CEO, he's asked me, hey, Alex, where can I find the NDA or global MSA? What were the terms on that contract from 3 years ago? I'd have to dig through my inbox for 30 minutes to an hour looking for it. Attachments can be automatically uploaded to profiles. If not, it would just display here. All you need to do is click one button. We even have an Outlook or Gmail extension, and you could add it directly to Affinity from your email as well. So I showed you all people. I'll dive into all organizations now. All organizations is set up very similarly, right? So we're able to identify the name of the organization and the URL just based on historical email and calendar communication across the team. And we're able to populate all of this data. So again, you could see the smart columns here. And then we're going to show you more organization specific data. So who are the people from the company that your team knows, the description, industry, location, number of employees, any notes, lists, to add other columns. Let's say if it's relating to startup data, you want to look at, what's the investment stage and who are the investors, and maybe what was the last funding amount. We could pull all that data front and center. Again, I won't spend too much time here in all organizations because the functionality is very similar in all people. But one thing I would like to show you is if you go to a LinkedIn company profile, even a person profile on LinkedIn, or even a company's website, we've got this really cool extension here where we're going to surface the relationship intelligence. So we're able to tell you who from your firm is best connected with the people there at, in this case, MassMutual, and then who from your team is best connected with those individuals. So again, in this case, Bonnie Lynn on my team has a 99 out of 100 with Reggie from MassMutual. So that's incredibly strong. If you want to add MassMutual to a list, you could do that directly here. We have the same exact functionality on people profiles. So with that, I'll dive into custom lists. To create a list, it's super easy. We've got some templates you could also build from scratch, but you could think of lists as people lists, a list of people, whether that be existing relationships, that could be an emailing list, a list of leads, organizations. So think of that as, perhaps strategic accounts or companies you're tracking, or a list of opportunities. So those could be active sales opportunities. Those could be even projects that you're managing, et cetera. In this case, I have a list that's more purpose built for consulting here. So in this case, this would be an active opportunity, or say a sales pipeline for consulting. So you could see the name of the organization and the deal. In this case, I've got 3 deals here from Cisco alone. Who are the people from the client that you're engaging with? Who's the owner of the deal? So let's say I just want to take a look at my deals and save it as a separate view. You could do that. What consulting service are we selling them? Again, this is all very much customizable. If you wanted to add a new service, call it, innovation workshop, you could do that. The status here, again, all very much customizable. I have it as project identified, scoping, pricing, contract negotiation, close won, close loss, on hold. Again, you can make edits, even assign it specific probabilities, which will reflect in our risk-adjusted reporting. The amount, what's the expected close date, maybe what's the source of the relationship, whether that came through an existing client relationship, RFP, inbound, outbound, maybe your alumni network, any notes, we display the communications data, reminders. In this case, maybe you want to have a column for procurement contacts, or maybe what other vendors are we working with to deliver the potential services. We have these cool triggers to stay on top of clients. So in this case, we've got these reminder triggers. So let's say when status is in contract negotiation, we don't want more than 7 days to pass without an email or meeting, right? In which case the rep or the owner would get a reminder to follow up with that deal. Opportunity triggers. So let's say if I move a deal into close one, it's going to create a new line item within my project management pipeline, because now that it's a closed deal, I need to pass it off to the project management team. Even status triggers, right? So let's say I move a deal from project identified to scoping. To scoping, and I'm going to prompt the owner to include what's the expected close date, what are the consulting services, and perhaps what's the amount, right? So triggers are really to stay on top of clients and to streamline workflows. We've got these, we've got what we call a Kanban view or board view, which is more visual, right? Say you're reviewing the pipeline of opportunities in your weekly sales pipeline meeting. You could just quickly drag and drop. Say Pfizer is actually in pricing. Say you have 100 deals here, you could collapse it by name only. If you wanted to look at everything, including those that you've won, lost, on hold, you could do that as well. Lastly, we have advanced reporting, and we could customize this reporting any way to Sunday to fit your needs. In this case, this is taken from one of our templates, but here you could see opportunities added by month and owner. So what's the opportunity count by owner, top 10, repeat opportunities, even revenue forecast as well, if you're wanting a risk-adjusted forecast to see what's coming down the pipeline and what you're able to forecast from a revenue perspective. So with that, I showed you some of the nuts and bolts to Affinity. Can certainly hop on a demo to dive into more specific use cases. Thank you very much.